is my dream job, but it's not financially fulfilling. I'm not getting money out of it.
A lot of people are just in 9 to 5 because you want to make a living. You will end up just like every other person. They're not created to survive. You are created to live life abundantly. If you are not faithful with little, who will commit greater things to you? There are principles that govern life. You can't cheat it.
So at what point did you decide, or did you know that you had to leave your 9 to 5?
You want to hear story?
Yeah, that's what I'm sure that's what most people want to know.
So be ready for the story.
I'm Praise Mba, and this is Workplace Whispers, brought to you by SOL Media. If you need answers to your burning career questions, clarity on navigating the job market, maybe you need timely career advice, or you just want to hear some juicy office gossip, then you've come to the right place. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and watch this episode to the end, because we have a secret to share with you. And please, do keep this to yourself. Is it possible to achieve financial freedom while holding down a 9 to 5 job? Well, now in Nigeria's current economy landscape, where inflation is rising and job security feels like a luxury, this question hits home because many people believe financial freedom is reserved for entrepreneurs and side hustlers. But is that the full picture? Well, I'm Praise Mba. Welcome to Workplace Whispers. Well, joining me on this episode is a global speaker. She's an author, a trainer, a founder of the School of Abundance, a certified results and performance coach, a chartered human resource practitioner. I mean, she wears many feathers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with me Oludayo Adeniyi, also known as the Abundance Queen.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Nice being here with you.
No, I think I'm more excited than you are.
Oh,
Yes, I have to say that. I'm super excited to be here, seeing you, meeting you. As an aside, while reading your book, I was like, I wanted to meet the person, the brain behind the book, first of all.
Thank you.
But that's a conversation for another day. We'll get into that. But I'm more curious. The Abundance Queen. Who were you before you became, or you found that version of yourself that became the Abundance Queen, and then the Abundance Code that gave rise to that?
Interesting. That's a great question. Great question. Well, before the Abundance Queen, I was, usual 9 to 5 person, and I was doing my 9 to 5. I'd, worked for over a decade at that point. But one of the things that I realized about me was I was asking some very deep questions about life. I would ask questions like, what is life about? For how long do I want to work? So I saw myself, that was the place where I was, even though I had good jobs, I was doing well in my profession. But you would know that I had this vacuum inside of me, like there was something more, and I was like, there should be more to life than all of this hustling. Sometimes you hustle, you don't even remember your family. Sometimes you're hustling, you're not even enjoying life. It's just all about the hustle. So I had those questions. I was just like your regular 9 to 5, but that was doing well in her career, and then I exited my 9 to 5 in 2018. That's another story and episode. Another story and episode. So I'm a proud alumni of SOL. So let me add on to it.
I'm going to leave that for later, but I'm glad that you said that. But you talked about that vacuum. You found you were working. You were living a fulfilled life as a 9 to 5, but you still had that vacuum with you.
Yes. So
talking about that now, I think this is a question that is on everybody's mind. It was on my mind while I was reading the book, and we've heard that because also talking about your book, there's something that you said there. There's so many lies that we are being told growing up that have kind of formed our reality, formed who we are and our perceptions to the way we treat money now. And for me, I hear things like, it's not possible to live a fulfilled life or to be financially free as a 9 to 5er. So first of all, I don't even know, is that a lie? Is that true? What do you think about that?
Well, it's not. It's something. It's a mindset that we have been sold. It's a programming that we have, because the truth is that some people have to do the 9 to 5. Do you understand with the way the world is? But what is key is for you to understand what is your definition of success. What does success mean to you? When you're able to define what success means to you, then you begin to live life. So what we have known is go to school, get a good grade so you can get a good job. So that is the programming. So you see a lot of people, even though they have the mindset or the desire to be an entrepreneur, they tell you, I can't be one. That was me also. I was like, I can't be an entrepreneur. I'm just a 9-to-5 person, career person. Just do my career, just do blah, blah, blah. But when purpose found me, I realized that I have so much potential in my inside that I wasn't exploring because I had this limiting mindset that said to me that, okay, I can only be a 9-to-5 person. For me, I believe whether you're a 9-to-5 person or you decide to be an entrepreneur, you can still achieve success. The most important thing is identify what is your own definition of success. People have told us like, I also used to say this that 9-to-5 people you can't do, but when I began to understand with the world that we're in right now, things are changing. The way 9-to-5 was many years ago isn't the way 9-to-5 is right now. You see people working from home. You see people even having multiple jobs when they're having their own side businesses that they are doing. So it's all about understanding like the cash flow quadrant. Let me put it like that. Robert Kiyosaki, he spoke about the cash flow quadrant. So you have the employee quadrant, which are people that do their 9-to-5. You have the self-employed quadrant. You have the business owner quadrant. And then you have the investor quadrant. So if you are wise enough, you can function in all of these quadrants.
So I can be a 9-to-5er, be an entrepreneur, and be like an investor.
Yeah, basically. So the world that we're in right now gives you that opportunity, even as a 9-to-5 person. You can also, let me use the word, monetize your skills. You can monetize, your talents, your gifts. And people wonder, how do I do that? For example, you have LinkedIn. You can begin to show up as a professional, talk about what you do, build thought leadership. Do you understand? So the way we've known about building wealth is not just a one-sided, you just need to invest this way. Investment is good. You would invest. Right? But with the gifts and the talents that you have, you are already packaged in such a way that everything you need to succeed is already in your inside. So you just need to be able to identify that part. So you can actually become a thought leader, sharing your insights. You're an HR professional. You can share your insights on HR. You can share your insights on things that you love. And you're building that visibility for yourself. You're building that thought leadership for yourself. Before you know it, you start speaking engagement. People start calling you to speak. Because you have positioned yourself, you can begin to write a book. That is how it is to create multiple streams of income, even around what you do. Then with what you're getting from there, you can now begin to go into investment and all that. But a lot of people don't know. So it is either you are doing a 9-to-5 or, the entrepreneur thing, the way we have been sold, what an entrepreneur is. What I'm saying is that you can, with your 9-to-5, you can build great assets. I call it assets for yourself, still doing your 9-to-5. And there won't be any conflict with your job. Because right now you see people going on LinkedIn, they're sharing. It's a global platform. You can share about stuff, talk about your company, talk about what you do. People are watching. You are helping people. And as you do that, you're also building So if you now decide, okay, I've heard enough of this and I want to go into, entrepreneurship full time, you can. But as a 9-to-5, first define, what does success mean to me? What do I want?
I think I'm going to go home with that. What does success mean to you as a 9-to-5?
Yes. But or as a person.
As a person, right?
As a person.
Okay, let's put it that way, because hearing you say the things you're saying now, and knowing that you've somewhat transitioned from a 9-to-5er to the abundance queen, an entrepreneur, I presume, and being that you have been a part of SOL, you were a fellow SOL star at some point, and now you are that. If you were to turn back or go back, would you still stay in your 9-to-5 and still do the other things that you do? Because for you, it was an outright for purpose that was used. Because some people say that you can be a 9-to-5er and you cannot be an entrepreneur. There's people that are just called to be, help someone else's vision and grow someone else's idea and all of that. But what would you say to that, basically?
I believed that also, that I wasn't called to be an entrepreneur.
Because I say that to myself
Yes,
most of the time. I can't do business.
You know, so I worked
Let me just do
I worked in SOL.
my job.
I was the chief operating officer.
Yes.
I was here. So I felt I was doing a good job. And you know, the way life is, everything was just aligning, that you are just a follower. See how you are following, you are helping somebody to build their vision. I didn't see myself as somebody that was okay with what I was doing. So I believe that. And that's why I say to people that your own plan, what you want, comes first as desires. We limit ourselves by what we have been sold. If you look at a family, if you have been brought up in a family where they tell you entrepreneurship it is, you go for entrepreneurship. Look at the okay, let me give you an example. When I was in the university, okay, so when I graduated, or when we just graduated though, so I went to Lagos market, and my mom wanted to buy shoes. So we just stumbled on one market, and I saw my colleague. We just graduated together, and I looked at him. He's the owner of the shop.
Okay.
And I'm like,
boss move.
And I'm like, I said, guy, what are you doing? He said, you think me? I be like, nah.
There are a lot of people like that in school doing that too. And I'm like, was I wrong to have not stayed in my class?
It's exposure. The way he was brought up. So he said, do you think me I'm like you people? He said, see where me are the manager. I just went to, and this guy is a proper, you know, he said, I have this and I have my education, but I have this already on ground. I said, So what am I trying to say is that the way we have been brought up, what we have been sold, if he grew up from that environment where they taught him entrepreneurship, it was a priority. And they told him also it's good to go to school. So he was able to combine both. I'm sure maybe before he even went into school, he was already into his entrepreneurship. So why am I saying this? It is what you have believed. The family that you grew up in, what they taught you, my own family, what I was taught was go to school, get a good grade so you can get a good job. It was when I started, got to a particular level, I saw my mom start doing entrepreneurship. And at that point, she would say, follow me. I started learning one or two things. So that also started shaping me. So what I'm saying is your environment shapes you also. So most of the lies that we have believed, they are things that people have sold to us. What is the predominant myth or the predominant mindset? So you see everybody going in that direction. But the truth is you need to pause. And that's why I say, check, what really matters to you? What is the picture of life that you truly want? One of the things that helped me was the fact that I would ask myself questions. Dayo, where do you see yourself in the next few years? Are you comfortable with where you are right now, or you believe there's something better? And I'm like, okay, I think I want this. I didn't even know how it was going to happen. But I knew I wanted this. And what I was doing at that time, I sold myself into it. You know what is also happening to a lot of people in 9 to 5 is they do have measures. You are half here, you are half there.
Would you
half there.
Really? Because sometimes, like another thing you hear people say is that this is my dream job, but it's not financially fulfilling. I'm not getting money out of it. So what do I do?
So what is money? Let's ask the question. What is money? I usually ask people, say, I'm finding money. Have you seen a bus stop where they go pick money before? Money is a function of value. There's what they call the law of compensation. There are laws that govern money. If you want to make money, be a person of value. You exchange value, and you have value. You exchange it, somebody pays you. So you are on that job. The law of compensation says that you must, what you're doing, there must be demand for it. So in that profession that you are, what's the demand for it? Is your skills needed? Are you relevant? Then the second thing is your ability to do what you say you are doing. And then the third thing has to do with how indispensable you are. So I say to people, if you want to make money, focus on these things. What you are doing, be the best at it. Do it well. You see, there are people, I was reading a story. There's someone that earns about 150 million as a freelancer, doing a 9 to 5. Remote work.
So he has a 9 to 5 job?
Remote work. No, that is the person's job.
Okay. Oh, okay.
But the person is in Nigeria, but the person is earning 150 million, converting it to Naira as a 9 to 5 person, doing a remote job here in Nigeria.
What's the job?
I read it online.
Sorry.
What am I trying to say to people is that build your skills. the part of the lies we have been sold is to look for money. You don't look for money. You don't pursue money. You attract money. I get what I'm saying. So when you want to make more money, be a person of value. So I did my 9 to 5 for over a decade. But one of the things is there's nobody that worked with me that would not say that I was the best at what I was doing. So even the places I worked in 2000, I still have some of my bosses call me and they will say to me, Dayo, we are not surprised at what you're doing right now. Because from day one when we saw you, we knew you were different. So I said to people, what is that uniqueness that you carry? A lot of people are just in 9 to 5 because you want to make a living. You will end up just like every other person. So you must stand out. You are a 9 to 5. Even the Holy Book says, whatever your hand finds to do it with. Some people say, I don't know what my purpose is. Don't kill yourself over purpose. What you are doing now, do it with the whole of your heart. You will find a way. If you need to move there to go somewhere, you will know. Because when your heart is involved in something, that is like your engine room. You will find the path and you keep developing, you keep becoming better. You see yourself, before you know it, your skills are, and you are getting, you can attract more value for that. And you can leverage all your skills to be able to generate more income streams for yourself. So it's just about changing your perspective, changing your mindset. Money is not, you are not supposed to look for money. So we need to erase that as a 9 to 5. So if you are doing half measures, you are working in a place you are not giving your all. Say if you are not faithful with little, who will commit greater things to you? There are principles that govern life. You can't cheat it. You can think you are cheating your employer or whatever. You are cheating yourself because you are going to reap it in the future.
You know, this thing you said just reminded me of a book. I don't know, I can't remember the title, but it says, be so good that you can't be ignored.
Absolutely.
Something that's, and it's just
that's what you need to pursue
be
first
so
as a 9 to
good,
5.
whatever it is that you're doing that you can't be ignored. But I'm curious. So at what point did you decide, or did you know that you had to leave your 9 to 5?
You want to hear story?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm sure that's what most people want to know. At what point did you decide that this 9 to 5, I need to move?
You're talking to someone that said she wasn't called out to be an entrepreneur. Okay. So it started sometimes along the line.
That's exactly why I asked that question, actually.
So be ready for the story. So sometime along the line, I said I'm not called out to be an entrepreneur. I just started having this desire to set up a restaurant. Just started happening. And I remember then I told my former MD then, Dr. Ogulawa, I said, I want to start a restaurant. He said, you'll be good, though. You know you cook very well. I said, but if you start the restaurant, you have to resign. I'm going to face it. That's the kind of person you are. I said, what? He said, I'll support you. He even told me how much he was going to support me with. And that I said, let me go and think about it. I said, no, I can't. When I thought about it, I said, no salary. I said, I'm not doing it again. But about 2 years after, I saw myself going into the dream. As at that time, SOL gave us the opportunity to start, a business, as long as it wasn't conflicting with your. So I started the business, set up a restaurant in Lekki here. I was serving organizations, I had staff, I had everything, so I was running. So that started falling that desire. So you can do entrepreneurship. So you can do this. So I was combining that, but even though it was so ethic, but I was combining that. So that's kind of, spot some things inside of me. And before then, people knew me. I like talk about well-being, wealth, clinical, do this. I was like, I like that book club. So in 2018, January, I went into my office and I just said it's over. So it was so loud that I wanted to. That was like 10 years.
10 years.
So I had to check under my table. Like it was so loud. Like I am inaudible. I hear stuff. So I was about checking under my table. Like who has the guts to come and be under my table? I was saying, and then I heard your time here is over, and I was confused. I was like, over, okay, where am I going? It's not like I'm looking for another job. And December of that year, I shut down the restaurant. So I was like, so where do I go from here? So I first told my driver to drive me off. Let me go and cool that kind of thing. I went to the back. I was just roaming around like a headless chicken. So I came back. I called the friend. I said, I'm hearing voices. My friend said, you're hearing voices. You just relax. Everything will be fine.
I'm sure he thought, you
just relax.
going on?
Everything will be fine. Just relax. So I went home. Said, just relax. I went. The next day was our management meeting, and we had a management meeting. My office is opposite the conference room. So I was about going into my office, and MD was about climbing the stairs. He paused and looked at me. I said, Daya, I'd like to have a word with you. And then I went into his office. He said, please, I want to say something. Something happened overnight. You know me, I was still thinking, how do I even say I'm going? Where am I even going, self? You know, what is even the... I said, but then something happened overnight. I said, what happened? Did you have a misunderstanding? Maybe I was just even asking different overnight. Okay, what happened? You know, his family, you'll be thinking, something happened to the family, blah, blah, blah. So I said, no, don't think I'm mad. Don't think I'm crazy. Just listen to it. I said, okay. And I said, the Lord told me. I couldn't sleep overnight. That the Lord told me that your time here was up. That He has an assignment for you out there. I busted out like a mad woman. I started laughing. He said, I told you I'm not mad. I'm not crazy. You won't understand. Because he wasn't privy to what happened a day before. So I was like, is this a setup? How can you go and disrupt somebody's sleep? Because you want me to leave 9 to 5. What's that? So, and he said, please, just go and write your resignation letter. I release you. If you like, come to work once a week. I said, just like that. And that was like, God was truly involved in me leaving. Because I usually pray a prayer that whatever I'm doing, when it is time to move, let me not stay 1 second more where I'm not needed. That was a prayer that I usually pray. So that was how I left my 9 to 5.
So I'm now looking at you and I'm trying to soak it all in, because for you this was like an encounter. This is spiritual.
Absolutely. So I was 100%. Not like that gave me like a conviction that if God could disrupt somebody's sleep to confirm to, because He knows me, I will not go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know that mindset. I don't know, because I'll ask myself these questions. What am I doing? Where am I going?
If you didn't have that premonition, if you didn't have that spiritual awakening, do you think from your natural being would have seen Nigeria's economic condition? Because there's this fear, because most people want to leave their jobs. Most people are not finding fulfillment in their jobs, but then they're like, how will I pay my bills? I have bills to pay. I have this to do. Do you think you would have had that backing? You would have had that confidence to step out and do it afraid?
Well, I don't even think I can answer that question, because I wasn't even thinking about, even I told you I was running a restaurant, I was still doing my 9 to 5.
Yes.
So it wasn't like, so even if I was doing something, maybe I'll combine the two.
Because that's what I would do as well.
I'll combine the two.
Thank you for being real.
Yeah, I'll combine the two. But I guess because I was asking some questions. So let me take you to 2016. You know, I would usually ask questions like, what is wealth? What is life? Because I remember when I got my first job and I got my pay, they gave me the letter. I had to go and ask to say, please, if you don't mind, how many years will I work for me to be able to live the kind of life I truly desire to live? They were looking at me. They said, Shebi, you just started.
Yeah.
Work for 20 years. 25 years, you'll be okay. I'm like, okay. So I said, oh, that's the way it rolls. Oh, okay. So because I just started. Because I had to ask questions, because I didn't know how to do the mathematics that will amount to me now living the life that I truly. So I started asking those questions early. So when I now read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that one has scattered my brain finally. And what happened for me was, when I read that book and I saw that Robert Kiyosaki retired at age 38 and he said he was going to start living his life. I was a jobless graduate. I wrote it down that I can't forget that I was going to retire at age 38. I didn't have a job. I read that book, so that book was, I felt, so I wrote it down. I was going to retire at 38. And I retired at February of my birthday was when I left. That was my 30th birthday.
Wow.
So that's why these things, when you talk about them, people say it's motivation, people say it's this. But I said to people that life is spiritual. I'm not talking religion now. Don't do religion. Life is spiritual. You are first a spirit being. And I usually ask this question to say that you have over 7 billion people on the surface of the earth. Nobody's like you. Nobody has your fingerprint. You are so different. So I want to ask you a question. if a manufacturer go that length in creating unique entities, do you think it doesn't have a purpose or a reason? That means there's something unique about you that you're meant to serve on this earth. But a lot of us come into this earth and we forget our identity and we start hustling. So the essence of that book is to bring people back to the default. Just like, the analogy I have is Superman, Clark. He came from a different planet.
What was that planet? I'm trying to remember.
Is it Pluto or something?
Was it
that
Pluto?
Yes, and then he had titanium or something
he,
like that.
He didn't like the kryptonite.
So when he came, he was from that part, very unique, special individual. Then he came on Earth. He totally forgot who he was. Didn't know that he was a supernatural being. Then he was being nurtured by normal family, just bringing him up the normal way.
The powers he had
yes, until he now began to began to feel all of those things. And it was until he allowed that supernatural part of him, that uniqueness of him, to show forth. That was when he became Superman. And that is the same thing that applies to everyone. So you are a spiritual being. You are endowed. You came into this earth. You forgot who you were. You started living like an ordinary person. But the moment you begin to open up back to your true identity, to say, who am I truly? At that point, you begin to give room to your supernatural, self to find expression. And that is why you begin to make impact. So a lot of people are still living just ordinary lives. So I say to people that I help you go from Clark to Superman.
Okay, I want to be Superman. And just to add to that, I had a definition of purpose that has changed the way I see purpose. Co-creating a legacy of greatness with God. Because that's basically who I...
Everybody has a purpose.
Yeah.
The way we have been taught about purpose is like you just sleep, you just hear, this is your purpose.
Because that's what we think. That's what we've been taught to.
This is what you have been told to do. So everybody's waiting for that strange voice. Not everybody will hear like me. But one thing is, your part of life, be opened to wanting to be better. That's why I have that openness of mind that I want to be better. There's something unique about me. Give yourself to personal development. Work on yourself. I used to be very shy. I didn't like to talk. It got so bad that I couldn't speak English again. I had to start learning English. So when people see me talking and they say, hey, they born her with it. They didn't born me with it. The people that knew me way back, when they see me, they're like, wow, you have changed. You have evolved. And I say to everyone, you can also do the same thing.
So I've heard you've mentioned here a lot, which is something that you've also talked about in your book, limiting beliefs that kept us where we are. One of these things I've heard is that as a 9-to-5er, you're not supposed to save. You need to save your life first and invest in yourself. So I've heard so many people's perceptions to saving, especially when you're not even making enough. And you're wondering, the one I have is not even enough for me. And you are telling me to save. Save what? So should I save my life first? So what's the place of investing? And what's the place of now saving? What should you do as a 9-to-5er?
You must save. You can never earn enough. Haven't you seen you are earning X amount now? Is increased to XX. And you're excited for the next 3 months. Before you know, you're back to X. And you're wondering, maybe when I'm earning this. No. You can never, nobody can pay you your worth. So your income is a seed. And that seed is meant to be sown. It's not meant to be eaten. You can't save your life, no matter how much you try.
But then, sometimes you're earning, say, maybe you're earning 80,000, someone that just started, an entry-level person, and you're trying to, pay your transport fare, and what you have left there, you're like, how much is that left?
It's not. So you don't save what is left. You have to save first.
Okay.
You collect that 80,000. You set a rule that out of this 80,000, I'm saving 10% of it every month. It's a principle. And, I said there are principles that govern the earth. I may not have answers to all of these things, but these things work. You have that income. It is not enough, but you can set aside 10% or 20% of it. Say, this is my savings. You are paying yourself. That money you are setting aside is you saving yourself.
So if I pay myself like shawarma, I pay myself a trip, is that still paying myself? I'm still paying myself.
That is why you break your income, right?
Okay, so
you have a percentage that goes into paying yourself. That is what you also use to create the future, which is that savings that you are setting aside. it gets to a point that you can invest it in something. But the law, there's a law that you're setting aside. You see, that law is honored. You see, there was a time my salary wasn't enough. Then I was faced with a situation where I needed to be setting aside 50% of my income every month. This was a salary that I felt was not enough. But when that situation hit me, I started setting aside 50%. Do you believe that the remaining 50% was enough for me and I was still saving from that 50%? Everything is mindset. Mindset. And there's a way when you honor those principles, because you are faithful, there's a way opportunities begin to come. Things begin, but when you limit yourself only to the reality of what you have, you are living, you are placing a ceiling on yourself. But there are rules of life that you need to honor. A farmer, when he sows his seed and it's time for harvest, he keeps the best of the seeds for the next planting season. He doesn't say, I'm saving my life, let me just sell everything. What is he going to sow? The same thing as a 9 to 5 person, your salary is a seed. It's not about whether it's enough or it's not going to be enough. If you are not faithful with that small, nobody will commit greater unto you. But the moment you close your eyes, you can do automation. They remove it from the bank, bam, put it. What you have is what you spend. Because I said, if your salary was, okay, you are earning 80,000. What if your salary was 50? Will you die? You will still do something. Right?
What portion of my salary? Because I'm the one working now. What portion of my salary needs to be enjoyed? What if I want to take a trip? I want to eat something.
You have
treat
savings.
myself.
No, you have savings.
Okay.
Then you have money for enjoyment.
That enjoyment is important.
No, because you must enjoy that 50k now before you even go to. So it's not about starving yourself. It's about working around that income and using it to create life. Because I also believe in living in the moment, enjoying yourself. Because future is always future. Tomorrow never ends. But today also enjoy yourself. But once you're enjoying yourself, also plan. Set aside, if it is 10%, put that 10% and be faithful with that 10%. Have another portion. Okay, every month I'll take myself to the movies or this. Have that budget also, but plan. The moment you start doing that, you know what it does for you also? Your mind begins to open up to say, okay, so if I want to earn more, if I want to do this, I need to earn more. So you start working on empowering yourself, seeing how you can expand your skills. There are high income skills that you can learn. There are things that you can expose yourself to in the workplace. Focus yourself on, learning and acquiring this, because those skills is what will help you earn more. So you discover that you can even 10x your income. But people need to know that there are principles that govern life. And these principles, people call them motivation. They call them anything. But if you don't honor these principles of life, you'll be defeated by life. Life is a game. So if you don't understand that life is a game, and you don't understand the principles and laws that govern life, you will be a victim. Have you seen somebody that is meant to be the ruler of the house now becoming the servant? That's the way a lot of people live. They say life is unfair. Life was created for your good. So if you don't understand it, you just be slapping you up, and there's nobody. Go and ask. Even Dangote is looking for more money. Nobody has enough.
Are you really sure?
Yes.
Actually, yes, he is.
Because the money is a tool to fulfill purpose.
Yeah.
So for impact.
So does money ever become enough?
It's never enough.
Is that not gluttony? It's not
about gluttony, it's about purpose. So that's why if you don't understand what money is, a lot of people don't understand what money is. A lot of people have this survival mindset. You just survive. You are not created to survive. You're not created to survive. You were created to live life abundantly. And that will take me back to that story I was saying in 2016. I said I would usually ask questions. What is life? At what point do we start enjoying this life? Because you go to work for money, you come back in the night, you're not even seeing your family. What kind of life is that? And then one morning I had another encounter. I was sleeping and it was like somebody just tapped me. I was like, what is wealth? I said, these people, which one is what is wealth? Me, am I finding answers? You're not asking me the question I've been seeking answers. And I said, okay, wealth is I go to work, I make money, and living my life, I'm helping people. And they said, no, that's not wealth. I said, so what is wealth? So what is wealth? Say, wealth is deeper than that. Okay. Then the next question, what if you lose your job? I said, I'll just die. That is how honest I was. And that was in my subconscious mind. That is for you to know how beliefs hold us. Even in my subconscious, I said I would die. So the next one said, when you die, what happens? I said, at least I will not suffer here. He said, it's on earth that they don't spend money in heaven. When you die, you transition. I said, you? Say, so death, what's death? It's just transitioning. I said, And that was when I was like, okay, so death is transitioning. I started seeing death in another format. Then I heard I didn't create man to suffer. And I said, that one is story for the God too, because we are hustling here. We have to hustle for make a living. We have to hustle. He said, I didn't create man. I said, even your holy book say if we don't eat, we should not. If you don't work, we should not eat. He said, that's not the me. You're not putting it in context. I said, me, I don't understand all of this. But I heard I didn't create man. So as I was, arguing based on my knowledge, my upbringing, and all of that, a voice just said, say, teach me. And I just said, teach me, and the voice just faded. Everything just faded. Like I just came back to my consciousness. And I was like, what is this one again? Then 2 years after, my job was. So I started now learning about wealth when I left my 9 to 5. And that is what's birthed the Abundance Queen.
The Abundance
So in
Queen,
2019 was when I got the name Abundance Queen. I couldn't even call myself Abundance Queen. I said, what's that? I got the Abundance Queen. I got the book. I got the School of Abundance. That was 2019. But this is 2004. So I had to go through a process understanding that wealth is about 95% psychological, your mindset, and 5% your skills. So a lot of us focus on the 5% and the strategy, but our belief system is wrong. And the belief system is what creates on the external.
So it's been an amazing time listening to you, and I feel like most of what you said, you've really, really flogged me today, especially that saving my life first. I used to be of that belief that I need to take myself out and take care of myself, but I will. Yeah. But because of time, this is Workplace Whispers, and we want you to share one secret. If you were to look at yourself, your life as an entrepreneur, as a business person, a 9 to 5 at some point, and there's one secret that you think, every 9 to 5 I should hear. Something that has kept you where you are and taking you to where you're going. What would that be? Let's whisper it. What's that secret?
Having the right mindset. And if I say having the right mindset, having an abundance mindset, where you believe that there is enough for you in this life. When you believe that you are, how do I say it? You have everything that you need to truly prosper on earth. You see, that is the first source to success. You see in offices also, people play this zero-sum game. You pull down other people for you to go up. You feel you are doing that because you have a scarcity mindset. You believe that, the job can't go round, that there's only one position, so we have to strive for those positions and all of that. No. When you have an abundance mindset, even if that position you won't get it, you will go elsewhere and get the position. So you must have that abundance. That has been one secret that I've come to know. And it's, even though it had unfolded in different areas of my life, remember when I said I read that book, I was a jobless graduate, and I said I was going to, it wasn't like I had any job or I knew one job was waiting for me, but it was a mindset that at this I wrote, I didn't even know how it was going to happen. So the advice I would say to people is have an abundance mindset. And this is you believing that there is enough for you to live your life. There's enough jobs for you out there. There's enough abundance out there. There's enough wealth for you out there. Functioning from that state of mindset opens you up to more opportunities in life. So you don't feel, I'm not struggling with praise. To say praise is contending with me. Praise can't contend with you because there's enough for you. So you need to begin to see life that way and shift your mindset from the scarcity mindset to abundance mindset, and you discover that life begins to make more sense. It's not like you won't be faced with challenges, but you face those challenges and you seek solutions. So what I would say is cultivate an abundance mindset.
Cultivate an abundance mindset, and that's something I'm going to take home with me as well, because I can't be with you and sit with you for this long. And yes, please, you need to get the abundance code, because I've been sitting with you so much here, and all the wealth of knowledge coming out from this book. I have read the book, and my God, my goodness, my limiting beliefs, trash it. Every of those lies, trash it. And there's more where that came from. Okay, thank you very much, the Abundance Queen. Thank you very much, Oludayo Adeniyi, for making our time to be here. I really appreciate you. Everyone appreciates you. Thank you for taking out time for the abundant things you've been doing to sit with us here. I appreciate you. And you at home, please, you need to subscribe to SL Nigeria on YouTube. Subscribe so that you can be able to watch more interesting episodes like this on Workplace Whispers. Thank you very much, Oludayo Adeniyi again. I appreciate you so much. All right, that's Workplace Whispers for you today. My name is Praise Mba.